Hey guys, welcome to week 16 preview of the Miami Dolphins. It's been a long season, so I kind of miscounted. Yeah, it's week 16. Um, we have a game today. I should have done this a little bit days earlier, but we're going up against a San Francisco 49ers team that went to a Super Bowl, okay? Both teams coming off of a 6-8 record. Miami's 4-3 at home. The Niners are 2-4 on the road. But I can't count on records. Let's talk about the Niners season. Their first game of the season was on Monday night, where Brock Purdy, as really good as he is, he gave the Jets quite the beating, 32-19 on Monday nights. And then they go to Minnesota, where they get beat by the Vikings. Pretty close game, but it kind of shows just how absolutely talented the Vikings have become. Then they go to SoFi to play against the Rams, and the Rams beat them. So SoCal, Southern California wins that one, And then they come back to San Francisco, well, Santa Clara to be exact, to play against the New England Patriots, and no problem handling the New England Patriots. A pretty heartbreaking loss against the Arizona Cardinals at Levi Stadium, as the Cardinals beat them 24-23. Then they go to Seattle, where they got a pretty big win against the Seahawks, 36-24. And then they come back home to play against their Super Bowl opponents, the Kansas City Chiefs, where the Chiefs beat them 28-18. You know the deal with, the whole controversy around the referees. And yes, they're always getting helped by the referees. But then they come back home to play against the Cowboys, beating the Cowboys, no problem. Then they go to Tampa. They go to Tampa to play against the Buccaneers, beating Baker Mayfield. Was Baker Mayfield playing that game? Yes, he was. Brock Purdy was just much better. It all came down to two defense in that game. Then come back home to play against the Seahawks. Seahawks got the last laugh. Then they go to Lambeau, and then they got absolutely beat the crap out of by the Packers. Don't worry, Niners, us too with the Green Bay Packers. So no shame in losing to the Green Bay Packers. And it also didn't help much when they go to Buffalo. It was a very snowy Sunday night game against the Bills, and they just got destroyed, 35-10. And of course, by that point, the Bills made the playoffs. They handled business against the Bears, though, 38-13. And in the Thursday night game, to play against the Rams at Levi's this time, pretty pathetic game where I don't think there was any touchdowns thrown in that game. Let me double check. Yeah, all field goals. No touchdowns were scored in that game. And I guess the NFL must be happy the fact that they're not scoring any touchdowns, because the ratings are quite low. But anyway, Rams got the last laugh of that one, as a pretty stupid loss by the Niners, to say the least, because it all came down to, who's going to score a touchdown. Nobody scored a touchdown, so this was a defensive struggle. So that's bad. That's bad on its own. And it all came here to the Miami Dolphins. So, of course, you got Brock Purdy playing his usual football. And what do you believe, about a couple years ago, his career started against the Miami Dolphins at Levi's? Because if you remember that game against the Niners in 2022, Tua's playing great in the first part of the game, right? And then Jimmy Garoppolo in that game got hurt, so they bring in their third string, okay? I think Trey Lance at that time was their first string, and then Jimmy Garoppolo was their second string, even though Garoppolo was meant to be the starter. He comes in, starting that game. He got hurt by our defense. I think Christian Wilkins was part of that situation when they got hurt. But so they bring in the third string, Brock Purdy, and Brock Purdy played his best football. Something that the Dolphins clearly lack when it comes to backup QBs, when it comes to backup quarterbacks. The Niners, the 49ers team, this is the team that they know how to develop. They know how to develop quarterbacks. They know how to develop defense. And clearly, they know how to protect the quarterback, too. They got really talented players. The Niners team is incredibly screw the record, because you're gonna have bad records sometimes too. Hence the Miami Dolphins. You also got Brandon Allen as their second string. I actually know what Brandon Allen. That's kind of funny. And then Joshua Dobbs, something like that. Blah blah. But you got Jennings. You got Debo Samuel, who's playing great football, and then of course the biggest player there is George Kittle, and their tight ends, one of their best catch and receivers / tight ends, who can play extremely good football. And this season is just not that different. He has 8 touchdown passes. He's caught 8 touchdown passes, 861 yards and 60 receptions. He's damn good. So that alone is something that we need to be aware of from our defense, and you know how short-staffed our defense is with this team. Still, no excuse. You have to win some games. Now, when it comes to the Dolphins, of course, you got Achane. They have Mason, who unfortunately is on the IR. Guerrero is out for this game as well. So who's going to be the running back? Who's going to be the running back for the Niners in this game? Debo Samuel, perhaps? Will it be Taylor? Vogue? Who? We're about to find out. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it. Let's take a look. I should have done this. I'm gonna look up the head-to-head record. San Francisco 49ers history. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Head-to-head record. Here we go. Miami has collected, over the last 5 meetings, Miami has collected 3 wins against San Francisco. 3. Okay. So, with that being said, yeah. It isn't 3, it's actually 2. So, let's see. Our last win is against them in 2020. That was when Fitzpatrick playing his incredible football after coming off a loss against the Seahawks of that season. This is still under Brian Flores. They beat them 43-17 at Levi's. And then, of course, the game I just talked about, Brock Purdy making his debut and then completely changed the course of football for the Niners, gave us a beating 33-17. But in terms of all-time series, Miami still leads 8-7 against the Niners when it comes to head-to-head record. And yes, including the Super Bowl, that was a tough. It must have been a tough game to watch. I was not born yet when that Super Bowl happened. They lost that Super Bowl 38-16, and I think that was our last Super Bowl that we have made it to. So we have not made it to the Super Bowl since. Actually, that was the first time the Niners actually beat the Dolphins, the Super Bowl. Yeah. So either way, still have an advantage over the Niners. I think that's going to change today. The Dolphins, this is their final home game. And then for the next game, they go to Cleveland for a Sunday night game. Oh, wait. There's no Sunday night game anymore, is it? Yeah, we suck so badly, and Cleveland stinks so badly that they flexed it. They flexed the Sunday night game, and it's now a 4:05 p.m. kickoff. They should have made it 1 o'clock. They should have made that game 1 o'clock, if I'm being honest with you. Just saying. But anyway, guys, that's your preview. I'm sorry that it took a little bit later. At least I didn't do it. I didn't procrastinate. I mean, I kind of did, but at least it's not 1 o'clock game. Then I'd be scrambling. But yeah, man, that's gonna do it for this one. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe for content. As always, go Dolphins, despite what's happening. I guess one more thing. We're still in the playoff hunt, but our chances are growing slimmer and slimmer and slimmer. Okay, the Baltimore Ravens have clinched the playoffs, so the only way we can make it to the playoffs now is the Broncos to lose out, the Colts to also lose out, because the Chargers won. The Chargers beat the Broncos on Thursday nights, which was a pretty good game. I think there was that one free field goal that they had. I've never seen that in my life. But yeah, they beat them 34-27, of course. And the Ravens beat the Steelers. That was, what do you know? That's the first time Lamar Jackson played the Steelers at home. I know, it's shocking. So we're still alive, just barely, but we need a few things. We have to win out, and the Broncos have to lose out. With all that being said, one loss and that's it. Okay, and the Colts also have to. The Colts also have to lose one of 3 games. Okay, to give you the rest of the schedule before I end things off. The Broncos have a game against the Bengals. They have a game against the Bengals on Saturday. On the Saturday of. The Bengals are also in the mix. Okay, they have a game. I think they have a game today too. Let me double check real quick. Yeah, they got the Browns. So the Bengals are most likely going to win that game. So they're also fighting for a playoff spot too. So the Broncos have a game against the Bengals next week. Well, actually, in 6 days. Then we got the Browns, of course. We have to beat the Browns. I don't care about the cold weather. And then the Colts also have a game. The Colts have an easier schedule than the rest of us. Okay, they have a game against the Titans. Then next week they got the game against the Giants at MetLife, and then to wrap up the season, we have the Jets at MetLife. The Colts have the Jaguars, and the Bengals have the Steelers. That's not the game we're looking for. The game that we're going to be focusing on. If in the perfect world, let's say we actually do win all 3 games, right? Because it's a must at this point. If we're still in competition. If the Broncos somehow lose against the Bengals and the Dolphins win 2 games, then there's a shot. And then we have to win our game, but then all eyes will be focused on the Broncos and Chiefs at Mile High. So that's going to be the game that we're going to be all focusing on in the perfect world where the Dolphins does win all 3 games and the Broncos does lose a game against the Bengals. Okay, that's the only way that I think we're going to make it to the playoffs. That's the only way. All right, the only way. But we'll see what happens. I'm not banking on it because I still think we're finished. I really think we're finished. But if the Dolphins fight through it, then okay. At least they have some. At least they can look forward for the future and have some pride in this. But again, I'm not banking on it. I'm just not. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this one. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe for content anyway, because Miami TVG has it back. And when he does, he'll be right there with the free entertainment you deserve. This is Miami TVG. Sign out, folks. Good night.